I found out that I was being eminent domained by the author of a news article that was coming out that day. He called me up in the morning and said, I'm publishing an article today from the city of San Antonio saying they're going to vote to eminent domain you next week at the city council meeting. I had 8 days and 3 minutes to talk in front of council to try to save my business and my property and everything that I've been working for the last 15 years. I'm Vince Cantu. I'm the owner of Moses Rose's Bar and Grill. Big government's trying to take my property, and I think that's wrong, and I'm here to talk about it. I'm downtown San Antonio. I'm a half block from the Alamo. So it's already in a really, really great spot, but they're about to put a $600 million museum next to me. So eminent domain is when a government decides they need your property, and if you don't want to sell it, or they don't, in my case, if they don't like the price that I have on it, then they can move in and condemn it and take it from you. They appraise it at today's value. So the current status of my situation with the state of Texas and the city of San Antonio is we've sort of entered into a eminent domain phase where the protocol is that they give me a first offer. This is how all eminent domain works in Texas anyway. They give me a first offer called the initial offer, even though I've already had 5 offers. This is eminent domain law. And then by statute, they have to wait 30 more days before they give me the final offer. And then if I refuse both those offers and we don't come to some sort of settlement, then they file a lawsuit 14 days later. By statute, they can't do it before that. They can do it after that. They cannot do it at all. But I mean, by statute, they have to give it at least 14 days, file a lawsuit against me to condemn my property. And then that goes in front of 3 judges, arbitrators, really, the way it works in Texas. So right now we're in between the initial offer and the final offer, about halfway in between. I've been working with the state to try to negotiate a price that would, to me, be fair to me and my family. The value of my property is going to skyrocket. This properties all around me are going to skyrocket because it's the biggest attraction they built downtown San Antonio in 100 years, almost. So I want the future value as well as today's value if I'm going to walk away from it, because to me it represents a generational property. It's a property that I could run the rest of my life, whether I wanted to work there or not. I could just lease it out to a Starbucks or to a franchise that wants to be right there by the Alamo. My kids could have it as well in their family, and it could be producing generational wealth for my whole family for forever, really, as long as there's an Alamo. And a lot of people have asked for answer to that. What are you asking for? What's the number? And it is awkward because normally you wouldn't be negotiating this in the press or openly like this. And but the state of Texas, they published the number that I asked for initially. They asked me for a number three and a half years ago. And I told them I would sell it for $10 million for the property, $5 million for the business. And that was kind of like my starting point. That was where my wife and I decided we'd start. But they never responded to that. And like 2 years after we gave them that number, the first time they ever responded to it was in the paper saying, oh, this guy wants $15 million. Oh, he wants $17 million now. He won't negotiate. We're at an impasse because he wants too much money. If you combine it with my business as well as my property, because I own both the real estate and the business that's inside of it, I would, definitely say that the business is going to be worth around $4 million, and the property is going to be worth over $5 million if you look out 5 and 10 years from now. And my neighbor, who doesn't own any property, he leases property from the state, was bought out of his lease. He had 5 years left on his lease, and the state gave him $10 million. $4 million is a nice start for sure. It's a lot of money. I'm not denying that, but it's not $10 million. And the guy that got $10 million didn't even own property. So I think that they should be treating me with the kind of respect and honor that my neighbor got. So I'm going to fight for that.